Hey everyone, welcome, welcome. You're here at Mo Money Mondays. I am your host, Vanda. It's been a minute. So happy to see everyone. Really happy to be here. I've had it going on just a little bit, a lot going on. How about you? Yeah, the whole world's got a lot going on, wouldn't you say? And then I got COVID. Woo, honey. I escaped it for almost 2 years, which I am so thankful. Amen. But yeah, I did. I got COVID. Wasn't so bad, I must say. I am probably at my healthiest right now. So I'm kind of glad that if I had to, have the experience that it was on the end and not in the beginning. Anyway, so happy to see all of you all. I have a lot of glare going on with these glasses. I'm not sure what to do about that. Oh, yeah, I know. You know what? How about that? Okay. So I might squint a little bit, but we're going to go for it. Anyway, thank you for joining today and welcome to Mo Money Mondays, brought to you by All About Us Radio. I am your host, Vanda, of the Jamison Legacy Group. Now, you can follow me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook at Jamison Legacy Group. So please do that and get all the notifications in real time as they drop. And please, guys, follow us here on All About Us Media. Click the subscribe button right below, okay? We would really, really love that. And this way, you can be sure to catch their Facebook Lives and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So again, thank you for joining. And we are live. How about that? And I'm in the studio all by myself. So I'm manning the boards. So bear with me, okay? Anyway, I am, in case you don't know who I am a financial strategist, a retirement specialist, an insurance broker. Let's see, a generational wealth builder, a community accelerator. And my passion really lies in helping ordinary people create extraordinary wealth. And I believe it all starts with a plan. It's so interesting. The one thing that we all share, you, me, everyone in your family, everyone in your neighborhood, everyone at work, is that we all use money. Yet, money is the one thing that we know the least about. They don't teach us in school. For the most part, most schools, unless you're, going to a very affluent private school, you might get that kind of training. And in college, there are mandatory courses, but finance is not one of them. So we all use money, yet it's the one piece that we are not formally educated on. So here on Mo Money Mondays, I am committed to helping your money make sense. And so today, I have some really interesting items that I'd like to speak to you about. As I study finance and I speak, over the years and continuing more and more to my clients, I realize how little training we have for what is to come. So what does that mean? Well, we are in the age of technology. How about that? Which means that what's coming up is all going to be automated. We are all going to have to figure it out. It's all, whoops, what did I do? It is all looking very, very different. Hang on one second. Do I have it here? Okay, here we go. Things are looking different. I am in elder care. What does that mean? I am diligent and one of the main people caring for my mom in this time. Mom is 83. Hey, she's doing great. But I'm learning to be there and looking forward to our future together and learning so much. Mom's still driving a pickup truck. She is still in her garden. She gets around. But let's just say I'm spending more time these days than I ever have. And so it has been very interesting to help her bridge the, 'cause she handles all her own finances. I'm dipping in a little bit, but as an elder, she really is, she's used to it. And so I think, we have the younger generations that are very equipped to handle technology. We've got the, what is it, Generation G, Generation X, Generation Y. I think that even some of those folks are struggling. I work with many young people, and they're not equipped with being able to transfer money or to get paid digitally other than Cash App, which is not the safest or the most secure. So some interesting stuff is happening. So I wanted to speak tonight a little bit about the trends that are happening in the world of finance. The trends that are happening in the world of finance. What does that look like for our future? It's something I think that we're being thrown into. However, it's not. And when it comes up and you're being thrown into it, and that thrust has to happen right now in order for you to complete the transaction, that's when we're learning. So I hope to plant seeds for awareness tonight. And, our money is changing, and so is the process and the ways in which we track and use our money. Technologies in the finance industry makes major turns and evolutions every year. Some of the statistics that I'm speaking about are from, God, I've been collecting information since about 2020, 2021. Most of, what I'm going to hip you guys about is already happening. We're already doing it. So the use of artificial intelligence, oh my goodness, robotics, blockchain, has made a huge impact in the banking sectors. So let's start off with the first that I want to bring up is security and privacy of your data. What does that look like? Not surprisingly, security and privacy of data is at the top of the list of priorities for most financial leaders. I know it is for me. And according to researchers, because they see what's going on in the market. And, if you just look at the security issues and the challenges in the media, I think we've all experienced this, right? How many people have gotten a letter or an email from a major company saying that they've been compromised and your information is part of what was compromised, right? Medical offices, we're seeing it everywhere. And so, risks and controls, we have to rely on other companies, right? So our financial houses are also relying on other companies, IT and security teams. It's become a really huge industry. And I think after COVID, we've seen the implement of specific controls and protection, different types of apps, especially when it comes to government and data and cyber risk. So get ready. This is not going away. We are probably, the levels of security are going to continue to increase, hopefully not be so complicated. I think we're doing really well navigating through all of it. And if you've noticed, perhaps, maybe not, we are either getting better at the security or the compromise is lessening. Personally, I think that I'm getting better at the security. I now use a browser that is very, very safe and not so public. Consider that. I use a search platform that is also very private. I won't name names. I just realized I probably shouldn't name names, so I can't speak to that much. But please, once again, our security is so important. And then I want to talk about, you know, the focus, the heightening focus on digital transformation. So the industry is witnessing a continued and aggressive focus on digitization. and the adoption of new and emerging technologies to bring in operational efficiencies, enhance speed to market, and deliver supervisor customer experiences. Banks, especially, are cutting down are cutting down spends on branches. Have you noticed that? They're eliminating. We're having fewer banks. They were popping up really quickly at one time, and now we're seeing fewer and fewer branches to invest in self service digital channels as mobile and online banking become more popular among customers and as well more convenient. I do all of my banking online. How about you? Right? So, what's going to happen? Have you, how many of you have had this experience? You're driving around looking for your bank. Maybe you're in a town that you're visiting. So you don't know where the banks are. You look them up and you're going to a bank and they're just ATM branches. And you need a physical bank with a teller and a manager. And I've had trouble finding that sometimes. In my hometown of New York City, I know where they all are. But, when I'm out of town, just because it says it's a bank doesn't mean it's a branch bank. So interesting, I thought. Let's talk about rethinking the concept of money. Because it's coming, right? We all know that the value of the dollar is diminishing, but technologies such as the blockchain are already, creating quite a storm, a quiet revolution, questioning the conventional economic value offered by the BFS industry. Blockchain is shaking up the very foundations of traditional business models and peer to peer lending, smart contracts, digital payments. It's all happening right before our eyes. And, eliminating the intermediaries, which is the whole purpose, I do believe, I know for a fact, decentralizing banking so that there are fewer people in between you and your money and speeding up underlying processes, right? It's so interesting how now, when it's not happening fast enough, are you at the ATM going, come on, what is going on? Why is this taking so long? That is me. Or you're online and you're just wondering, it's spinning and spinning, and you're, yeah, I'm just, wow, because 10 seconds is far too long. Look at what it's doing to us, right? So interesting. Where we were 20 years ago and where we are now. I personally love it. And I love that, my 10-year-old nephew can help grandma. How about that? Because grandma's on it. I mean, we are keeping her up with the times, but wait a minute, she's also doing her own homework. So don't sleep on your elders and, grab your parents, guys, bring them into the fold. If you are the technology whiz in the family, make sure you teach your elders, your parents, your grandparents. And what I've learned is that once, our elders become comfortable with technology, they become more courageous and confident to ask questions. So let them ask questions. So, what about the public cloud? Have you noticed that that's happening? There's a public cloud. This cloud will become the dominant infrastructure for all of our information, including our financial information. So, many financial institutions use cloud based software as a service. How about that? Applications for business processes that might be considered non core or financial accounting, like all of these systems are being held in the clouds. And they also turn to the software service for point solutions on the fringes of their operations. So, what does that mean? That includes security analytics and applications offering improvement for us, for the clients, right, the customers of banking. And it's really becoming a comfortable arrangement. Technology is rapidly becoming the way that core activity is processed. And you have to realize, well, think about your photos, okay? We all have a cloud where we're keeping our photos because eventually you outgrow the capacity of what your phone can hold. So I'm going to use a real simple analogy, right? Our phone can only hold so much information. So what do? We go to the clouds. We're paying 99 cents a month or $1.99 a month to be able to have this space that technically someone else has access to. How about that? It's a thought. And we know this, right? Because once it's been saved in the clouds, it's public. Well, the same thing is beginning to happen with finance. Of course, there's all sorts of security, but think about it. Our banks cannot handle what's going on, and who's calling? And the people, the amount of business that is happening now. There was a time, guys, when you would have maybe one bank account or one investment account. And now, we've gotten with the program. We have multiple banking accounts. We have multiple investment accounts. So where is all that information being stored? Interesting. Cybersecurity will be one of the top risks facing financial institutions. Well, it's one of the top risks that we face, isn't it? Cybersecurity and our money. How many of you are doing banking online? Right? I am. Have you ever been hacked? Anybody out there ever been hacked? I was. I share an account with my mother, and we were actually trying to do some cash app exchange between her and I. And she couldn't, transfer the money into her account. And I believe that she called one of the numbers for help that was listed, and they offered to help her. And next thing I knew, I was getting a call. They actually hacked her phone. They were able to go into her contacts. I got a text saying that my mother was speaking to a supervisor online, and something about they might need my help. But for some reason, I was forewarned. And I thought, oh, well, that's great. She's getting help in transferring this money to her bank account. But that wasn't the case. Whatever the number was that she had called, they had infiltrated her telephone, infiltrated her bank account. And somewhere during my drive, I got so many text messages that something said, you know what, pull over. And I did. And I went into our joint account and I saw money just going. It's actually not a joint account, but I'm on her account. Something I advise you guys to do with your elders. I'm actually on her account. So because I'm monitoring, because she's in her 80s. And so it's a safety mechanism and it really, really works. I've had so much actual proof and prevention. And this was one of those times, right? So I'm watching money just leave her account. I don't really understand why. I don't quite, I got this text and I'm trying to call her and she's not answering. And I call like 8, 9, 10 times and she's still not answering. But I see the money leaving the account. And finally, I get a text message, I guess, from the hacker who says, why are you trying to call your mother? And so I hang up and I call my bank. And, we managed to rectify the situation before we did damage control before all was out of whack. But cybersecurity, guys. And so what I learned is that once you've been compromised in your banking, our bank would not let us open a new account. We needed 3 accounts, one for her, one for me, and the one that we are on together. And they would not let us do it until we had security locked in place on our phone, on our computers. There was like a list of stuff that we had to do to prove that we had taken security measures in order to be able to open accounts again. So anywho, the threats on the financial industry have been huge. So some facts. In 2016, our a global CEO survey showed that 69% of financial services reported that they were either, you know, receiving cyber threats or had already received. And, years before, I think it's gone up like 10% every year. Crazy. So that's not likely to change. That's why I said we are just getting better with cybersecurity. People are learning. We're now having, security on our phones, security around our banking, security around our investments. There's something called VPNs. You know what that is? Anybody? Look into VPNs just to help secure your cyber life and activity just a little bit more each time. So it's a lot. I know it's a lot. Don't be nervous, though. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. Information is power. And the more we learn what is going on in the industry of finance, the better we will be at protecting ourselves. So I think at this time, I would, we're going to go to commercial. How about that? We'll be right back here at Mo Money Mondays.
If I lift up my heart to you, if I open my mouth to give you the glory, it would be hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. We lift our hands to give you glory.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Hallelujah. Isn't she beautiful? I thought she was beautiful. Okay, so in my research and study of financial trends, let's see what else I have for you guys. I wanted to talk about, I know. What's going on with, the customer experience? Have you guys noticed how that's changing across the board, though? But especially in the area of finance. Okay. We've seen it in Amazon as well, right? We've seen the customer experience looks different everywhere. So, no doubt about it. Digital technology has transformed consumer habits from mobile apps to targeted content and products and machine learning. Customers are now accustomed to their needs being anticipated, right? And with lightning speed. Why don't they know what I want? And having immediate access to whatever they want. A new, constantly connected customer expects a constantly connected company in order to provide a seamless customer experience. It's getting really intense. So, and there's, of course, good and bad. The bad is when you really want to speak with somebody, but you've got to go through all of the automation before you can speak with anybody, right? So, but what's been happening? They're getting better at that. Have you noticed this automated technology is understanding your words? I'm sorry, repeat that, please. Or I didn't quite understand you. It's kind of trippy what's going on out there, all to perfect the customer experience. The robotic process, right, for automation is here. So here it says robots will be used even in the finance sector and offer a lot of help in reducing costs and increasing operational efficiency. Okay, I think I expect that. However, from the perspective of roles in finance, leaders and managers would need to use this technology as a help alone and perform strategic tasks on their own. Taking the strategy first view, they can decide how the technology will fit in their plans. Well, that makes sense because at the end of the day, especially when it comes to the financial piece, we still need to have people, right? We really do. because we've all seen that mistakes still happen. And that is not something that we can afford to happen in the financial institution. So I'm happy to know that the humans are not being eliminated, completely. Whereas we've seen humans are being eliminated completely in so many other industries. But no fear, not in the financial, but we are beginning to see the use of robotics in the financial industry. Let's see what's next. Simplified digitalization. So, what is that? All aspects of the business need a customer centric approach. Yes. More businesses will have automated customer interfaces, especially in the financial services sector. Also, most of financial activities of businesses will also be digitized in a way that they are easily understood by employees and customers. Yes and no. Okay, I guess that's where the training comes in. Uh, you know, in areas where you were able to just, if you do recall, young and old, you should all recall this. You get a job, you're hired. There's a certain amount of training. Training has expanded. There's, companies have training now that, and I mean basic companies, customer service. What do you call it? Information input training is 2, 3, 4, 6 weeks now. That is crazy to me. That's a lot of training, but it's because of the technology. And now everyone, or I won't say everyone, companies and industries are having these programs built just for them. So they are specific, and the training is specific. And so what's happening in a lot of areas is that you might have had training here in this industry, but it cannot be crossed to another industry. So everything is individual, and you've got to learn that industry's technology. So I don't know. I kind of remember the days when I could have a job and, uh, the computer was basic. So you just had to know Excel and Word and, basics. Now there's, or even I was in hospitality, POS systems, they kind of all work the same. But now industries are having technology built just for them. So it's really different across the board. And you can't cross use technology or the education that's being offered for the technology. So it's kind of interesting. I know that once you do all that training, I hope you stay. I hope you're still going to be there, because it's becoming a lot of work to invest in, or at least your time as an employee at a company. We're putting in a lot of time with the training, and maybe that is an employee incentive to stay. I don't know. That once you've done all of this training, you are going to make sure you're there for a while. Well, that's a thought. Keeping our employees for a little bit longer than usual, that commitment. So, will automation take over more financial services? Let's see. Here it says automation tasks can get things done faster, more cheaply, and more accurately, increasing efficiency. Okay. So, what does that mean for bookkeepers and accountants? If you notice that even your tax services now, many people they're offering free online service. You can do it yourself. It has become very, very sophisticated over the years from years ago when you could do your own taxes. So that's just an example. Financial services, these firms are also trying to harness this power, right? Particularly through bots, using robots. They're trying to see where they can fit that in. Many customers are familiar with interacting with bots to answer their questions, right? When you want to do the chat and you can chat with somebody and it's midnight and you want to make that purchase or do that banking online, right? If you've got questions, you're dealing with a bot. But banks and other financial firms can also use them to automate some of their internal tasks, like responding to IT tickets or an account receivable. So there are areas where we're going to start seeing that more and more in the financial services industry. But I think it might take a little bit of time. It's very tricky when we're talking about your money. Let's see, faster fraud detection. Okay, yeah, because fraud detection is happening across the board now. It's with your bank, it's with your credit card company, it's with your website service. It's really interesting. I like it. I really like it that I have all of these different balloons in the area, and all of them have a responsibility in some capacity to fraud detection. That is really working for me. I get lots of emails. This one's checking on my social security. It's new in the banking industry that they are actually supporting their customers with fraud detection. So financial institutions often face fraud charges, which can cause damage to a company's reputation, right? Loss of revenue and direct business and additional legal costs to settle the cases. So it behooves them to be, visionaries in this case. That's why in 2021, a major trend for companies would be faster fraud monitoring. I think we've seen that in the last year or so. Faster fraud monitoring, creating digital approval workflow can help you filter out dubious invoices or delete duplicate payments or uh, fraudulent purchases, right? We've seen that fraudulent purchases because we're putting you guys, please be careful. Here's a perfect example I'm going to give you. I was on Instagram and I saw this workout program, and it let you target your thighs and your knees. And what do you want? You want the outside of your hips. And so I was punching buttons everywhere. Oh, I like that. And I like this and I like this. And so I sculpted this whole workout for myself. And then I got to the information. Well, now they want to know who you are and where you live and what's your email address and all. And I just thought to myself, I don't even know the company that I was working with. I have no idea. I got so excited with targeting my personalized workout. I don't know their name. I couldn't even go online to look them up because I was so far into the process of this app. Please be careful. And so what did I do? I opted out because I realized I had no idea who from Instagram I was about to give my information to. Okay. Yeah, because we get caught up in the hype, right? I saw my body happening before my eyes in this app, and it was just glorious, and so happy that I caught myself. Because those types of apps where you're asked to put your information in and you've gotten all excited and your excitement has heightened, right? Because you're interacting with this app, answering questions, getting excited, seeing advancement. And then they want your information, and it's so natural to just go right ahead and do it. And I'm like, so where's that list going? That list that you just added your name to, where are they selling that list to? See, I didn't have time to research the company, find out where all the information goes. So take heed. Be very careful who you're giving your name to. Careful, especially on Facebook and Instagram when you are filling out those forms. They look really, really great. All of that stuff is so enticing, these sponsors, and they make it look so good. But we don't know where we're ending up. And then next thing you know, you've got a barrage of emails coming to you, or me, or you've got a barrage of texts, or and it just gets so crazy. I got a text the other night that said, your Netflix account is on hold and no payments can be accepted. Now, I'm in the middle of watching Netflix. And of course, in some of my other businesses, I have some properties, there's Netflix, and I'm kind of like, and so initially I thought to myself, oh, well, let me follow this link and go. And then I thought, hang on, Who's sending me this text? So I looked at the text and there was no phone number. It was a text. When does Netflix text? Come on. But once again, the alarm is real. You get caught up in the moment of emotion. So very careful. Fraud detection. Very, very big in the trends these days. Pay attention. So the human factor, let's talk about that. That would be you and me. We are the human factor. And in the financial world, it is really something to pay attention to, and industries are paying attention to. So let me share this with you. While the finance industry is gearing up for the highly automated processes that are about to come, human accountants still are valuable resources due to their innovative and creative ways to improve businesses. I'm so happy to hear that. We still need the humans, right, to create the technology, but we still need the humans so far. AI and humans can work together to strengthen companies. The former to smoothen routinary processes. Did I say that right? I think that's right. And provide accountants better access to real-time information. I am all for the human and technology working together. That is my preference, especially around my money. I dread the day that it all becomes automated and robotic. Um, I am not looking forward to that. However, I do think it's going to come. I don't know. Even when we look at the blockchain, we still have the human part of it, right? It's person to person through technology. So I don't know. But we certainly we shall see. We shall see. Okay, I'm halfway through my list that I wanted to share with you guys. So, the lesser use of real money. Now, we all know what's going on with the dollar, right? We know that the money is changing. The value of the dollar is changing. So here I read, and I wanted to share this. In Sweden, just 1% of cash transactions took place in 2016. Okay, that's 5 years ago. 7 years ago, 6 years ago. What? Okay. And guys, everything is happening. I know that the United States is supposedly the most advanced, one of the richest countries, but it seems like everything, starts happening everywhere else before it happens here in the States for us. I don't know what that's about, but it happened with crypto, and we still haven't jumped on board as a country. We're still trying to figure out. Other countries have. But anyway, so back to, let's see. Real money decreases individual companies. Real money decreases individual companies do not accept cash in the bank. And over half claim that before 2025, they will stop receiving payment. The advent of even more straightforward payment systems, such as the contactless systems provided by NFC devices, renders cash quickly out of reach. Yeah, that's already happening. That's already happening. I don't carry cash. I have a funny story, if you care to hear. So there's my glare again. So here's my story. I was driving to North Carolina, right? Driving to North Carolina, and I stopped for gas. I'm going to make it quick. It's a really great story, but let me not go on. Anyway, I stopped for gas in, I don't know, probably about 2 hours away from Winston-Salem, which was my goal. So I know I was in North Carolina. I stop at a gas station to get gas. I pull up at pump number 3. And I put my card in, it says approved, and I start pumping gas. I'm trying to fill up. It stops at $40. Gas is much cheaper. This is just last week. Gas is much cheaper in North Carolina. So I thought that $40 filled up the remainder of my tank. Not. So I couldn't get a receipt at the pump. So I go inside to the teller, right? I go inside and I said, "Excuse me, I need a receipt for pump number 3. And he couldn't figure it out. He couldn't find a receipt for $40. So I go outside, I take a picture of the pump, and I'm like, look, it's $40, 9.3 gallons. He can't find the receipt. He can find a receipt for $46, which is what he gave me. And I realized it was correct. So I went back in and said, wait, you gave me a receipt for $46. My purchase was only $40 and I need a receipt. Anyway, long story short, somebody had paid cash on gas pump number 3 and he forgot to cancel it out. They did not get the gas on pump 3. They moved to pump 4. They went in and said, oh, I'm so sorry. I gave you the wrong pump number. I need that $40 on pump number 4. So now here I come along to pump number 3 and the store attendant did not cancel the transaction. So I pumped somebody else's $40 worth of gas. Now they had long gone. So now technically the gas station has actually given away $40 worth of gas to me. Well, once we figure all of this out, I said to the gentleman, okay, no problem. I'll take care of it. Okay, I've got the $40. I hand him a credit card. And he said to me, well, I'm not quite sure how to do this now in our system, right? In his cyber system, they didn't, which was probably an NFC device, didn't know how he should translate this transaction since it already happened. Does he put it in his cash? How does he enter it? He called his manager and his manager told him, he responds to me, I've been there now 25 minutes trying to get this gas that I've already gotten, and says to me, well, my manager says you will either have to pay cash or we have to call the police. And I said, well, I don't have any cash. So got to take my credit card. Yes, I was on the road with no cash. No, I was not using a debit card because this debit card only had a little bit of cash in it and I needed that at my destination. So I'm filling my tank with gas from New York to North Carolina with credit. And he refuses my credit card. And I say, look, it says you accept my credit card. And so I said, well, fine, call the police. And he said, well, I'm going to call my manager. She's on the way. And so I wait for this manager. And now another 20 minutes later, no manager. I called the police. The police get there and they say, what's the problem? And I say, he will not accept my form of payment. I no longer carry cash. And so the police go back and forth inside to talk to the teller and they come out to me and they go back inside and they come out to me. And I said, so what do I do? I want to pay for this gas. I've got 5 credit cards. I've got no cash. That's what the world is coming to. Who carries cash anymore? I had coins in the tray of my car, but I didn't have any cash. And so I know you guys are ready for the story. So what happened? So I left. 3 police cars, 6 officers showed up for this fiasco over cash or credit. And apparently, however they wanted to put it in their system so that it would tally correctly at the end of the night, had to be cash. And so the policeman said, I don't know what to tell them. You're offering them the money. They're refusing the money. You can't claim the tender of the money after the fact. You've already gotten the gas. And they take credit cards. So, ma'am, the officer said to me, if I were you, I'd get in my car and drive off because it really sounds like a them problem, not a you problem. And so I got in my car and I drove off. But my point being is that, who's using cash money anymore? Real money? Everything's digital. And eventually, guys, we're not going to have credit cards. There are going to be no credit cards. I hope you're having fun. I'm having fun. That was a fun story, and I'm going to lock it away in my treasure of stories when it comes to cash versus credit card. That was fun, and I wasn't afraid. I was like, and you know what? I think the the attendant was bluffing. I think he knew that he screwed up and that he was going to be responsible for the $40. And so rather than be responsible, he was really calling my bluff. So, and if y'all know me, I'm straight up no chaser. I'll call the police. So I did. Anyway, great story. We're going to do another commercial. Don't go away. Let's see. What are we doing? Oh, yeah. Okay. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back. You are tuned into Mo Money Monday here on All About Us Radio. I am your host, Vanda of the Jamison Legacy Group. And today we are talking about trends in the financial industry, technology-based trends that are happening. And so thank you for joining us. Just a couple of more. So what about the 24/7 mobile and internet banking services? Have we seen that? Yeah. How about that? When you really think about it, think about where we were decades ago and where we are now. So I found a little clip that says, in this digital age, people prefer to receive notifications for every credit and debit transaction. Yes, sir. And perform their financial transactions on their smartphones from the comfort of their home. Can you remember? Do you guys remember when you had to go outside to go to the ATM for a transaction? I gotta go to the bank. I'll be back. And now when people say I gotta go to the bank, and I'm like, why? You literally can take a picture of your check and just shoot it to the bank through your phone. So why? Mobile banking apps, it says, are driving personalization through easy access to complex offerings from anywhere in the world. Anywhere, international. They also take care of account security and biometric authentication, one-time passwords, and secure logins. Banks use artificial intelligence to facilitate mobile banking, enabling customers to perform any bank operations 24/7. And so, yes. And what do we do when that doesn't happen now? Have you seen human beings when it's not working? Have you seen human beings when they cannot do their banking online, or there's a glitch, or maybe the platform is down because they are upgrading? Goodness, talk about a crazy person. You should see me then. But yes, so we are talking about, the trends in the world of finance and what's happening now and in the future. And so that leads me to what did I want to? Oh, wait, let me find it. Bridging legacy systems. I found this piece about bridging legacy systems, and I really wanted to share. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to tell you because I got a story for this one too. So many financial institutions are still not ready for digitization. Hello. And see, I live in New York City, so I had no clue that everybody wasn't on board. But guys, everybody's not on board. They're built on top of old and outdated systems in need of a back office overhaul to even begin trying to implement new fintech products, right? So while some of the bigger banks have invested heavily in digital transformation, a vast majority of industry has not transformed their back offices yet. Recent reports confirm that financial service providers are way behind the rest of the world. Like literally, guys, 55% of banks report a lack of digitally maturing. And so anybody have that experience? So now again, I say I'm in New York. I thought this was happening all around the country, but it's not. So I went to Georgia. I opened up an account. I really want to say the name, but I won't. It's one of those southern banks. I'll just say that. And I got my card. It took like 3 weeks to get the card, and literally the bank is right there in town. It's a 5-minute walk. Took me 3 weeks to get that card in the mail. And I tried to set up my online platform and could not. I had trouble. Wasn't accepting my credentials. It's about 7:30 p.m. It's when we all sit down at our computer after a long day of work, right? 7, 8, 9, 10. There's no one. Can you believe that it said to me, please call the bank? So I called the bank because I thought, okay, great, they've got a phone number. Sorry, the bank is closed. You can leave a message for Miss Susie Anderson. It's literally what they said. I was like, so I left a message and I'm still waiting for that call back. Okay, I left a message saying that I was having trouble logging on and couldn't, I don't know. I didn't know that you could call the bank president or a bank associate and leave a message because you're having trouble with your online banking. I've never heard of that. But once again, bridging legacy systems. We're not there yet. It's still happening. I know it seems like the world is digitized, but we are not completely there yet. So if you live in a big city, you may understand what I'm talking about. And if you live in a small town, you may have no clue, but trust that it is coming. It is coming. It is coming. This coming. Just like working remotely. How fantastic was that? We saw the increase during COVID. It changed the money game for everyone across the board. Changed the money game for banks, changed the money game for employers, changed the money game for employees, right? So it says, along with companies in almost every other sector, financial institutions have had to deal with the new reality of working remotely. Many have already speculated on the macro trends of moving remote, but financial institutions are in a unique situation, right? Consumers are still used to going to branches for their banking. And even for those who wish to interact solely via digital channels, many banks don't even have online application solutions for completing loans, opening accounts, etc. Once again, don't even have online profiles and platforms. That boggles my mind. Yeah, my 83-year-old mom won't even consider it if she can't do it online. In fact, she was the one, like literally 20 years ago, that taught me about online banking because I wasn't doing it. My mother. Okay, she is all with it. Anyway, I hope you guys have learned a little something here. And if it's not in your town, in your state yet, it's coming. Start learning, start getting ready, wrapping your head about it. There are some huge trust issues that come with, robotic financing and these techie platforms that we are being introduced to. But for many of us, maybe that live in the bigger cities or deal with the bigger banks, we've been using it for quite a while. I think I can safely say that we've been using it long enough that the research is in, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. This technology really, really does help. It's more accurate every year. More accurate every year. Heck, guys, I won't tell my age, but I can remember the first ATMs. And I won't say it's me, but I'll say that I knew people that you could go to an ATM back in the day. I was in college. They gave me a card. You put your money in the ATM machine. You put your card in the ATM machine, and you got money. It's a great, perfect scenario, especially for a young person. Sorry, I had to put that call on hold, especially for a young person. But technology had to change because at that time, and we are talking back before the 2000s, you could go to any ATM machine and take that same amount of money out. So if you only had $55 in the bank, you could go to many banks and take out $50. That's crazy. But once again, technology is always improving and at a rate these days that is so unbelievable. So I look at then and I look at now and I look at the rate of change and what is happening across the board, especially in the financial world. And it's pretty fantastic what's going on. So I want you all to really be excited about looking forward to this. And so thank you. You have been tuned in to Mo Money Mondays here with me. I am your host, Vanda. I am here every Monday at 8 p.m. here on All About Us Radio. So get ready for those trends, guys. A little bit of information, a little bit of information on who we are, okay?
You're listening to All About Us Radio. We're live streaming 24/7, playing old school versus new school. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at AAU Media, and visit our website www.aaumedia.com. Call us at 1-833-369-1444, extension 1, and leave us an inspirational message or request. You're listening to All About Us Radio. You're listening to All About Us Radio. We're live streaming 24/7, playing old school versus new school. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at AAU Media, and visit our website www.aaumedia.com. Call us at...
Well, guys, we're at the end of our time together. Thank you so much for joining. I hope to see you next week. I hope you learned something about some of the trends that are going on in our financial world because they're coming. They're already here. So let's get ready. I enjoyed the time. I hope you did as well. We'll see you real soon back here on Mo Money Mondays. Stay safe, stay woke, and live each day with intention. Bye.
One look and I breathe. One touch.